I fall in love, look what it made me become. I let you get too close, just to wake up alone. And I know you think you can run, scared to believe I'm the one. I just can't let you go. I let the world.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another recap and review of Stranger Things. This is in preparation for Stranger Things Season 5, November the 26th. First 4 episodes, gonna be insane. Right after that, Volume 2 is gonna be releasing out roughly around December the 25th. And then the last episode of the season and the series as a whole will be on New Year's, which will be in the movie theaters as well as additionally on Netflix. So I am back with my co-host to talk about Season 3, and I'm talking about The Siren of Thorns. What's going on?
Hello again. Today I have brought you a new guest, Jared.
Hey, Jared. Scared the heck out of me, but it's fine.
And Ivan.
Hi, Ivan.
He sees everything. What can you expect?
I have an actual issue with Ivan, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. We're gonna get right into it. Coming off of Season 2 and getting into Season 3, how did you feel that transition, and how was your experience with Season 3?
You already know I adored Season 2.
Yep.
Season 3 began with the feature of one of my least favorite characters, Billy the Burnout. The mom chasing weirdo. So, putting my animosity towards Billy, yes, for now, just for now. Though watching him fall down the stairs, be dragged away down the stairs was pretty interesting. I kind of liked how it started off normalish, again, aside from the whole trying to steal somebody's mom thing. Yeah. I liked watching the kids get really super excited. Hold on, my camera is very fuzzy right now. Looks better. Ish. Okay. We're kind of having issues. It might be my lighting, so. Yeah, we'll stick with that. It's fine. So I really enjoyed watching the kids just kind of get to be kids, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that they are, in fact, children. Yep. They deserve a little fun that isn't life-threatening or in the upside down, which they don't really seem to get either of. It was great to see 11 just kind of get to be a girl. And oh my God, the friendship she develops with Max, yes. Oh, absolute perfection. Like, Max never disliked her at all. And because she went to her, I feel like the misunderstanding of her being concerned that Mike might have had a thing for Max dissipated immediately. Max took her in, took her shopping, taught her about boy talk and just general girl hangout things, and what it means to be, just a little preteen enjoying your life.
It was really sweet. They have such great chemistry. Sadie and Millie Bobby Brown, they really genuinely seem like friends, and that maybe they're acting, or maybe they have great on set chemistry in general. But it was interesting because we all know that Mike and 11, they very much so love each other, but they're also kids, and so they don't have everything figured out. Mike is a doofus because he's a young little boy that doesn't know how to express himself, nor does he know how to articulate what he needs. Partly because he doesn't necessarily have a dad that can show him the right path, but we're not going to go that route. But at the same time, it puts Lucas and Mike in a very interesting situation because they're having to traverse, like, how do we get these girls to be okay with us existing? And at the same time, the girls are finally actually being able to be girls and get time that they need. One of the cutest scenes, I think, was when 11 and Max were in 11's room, because before that, a few episodes back, like, Mike and 11 were making out in the room, and Hopper did not want it. He was like, man, you keep this door open no matter what. And I love that Joyce tried to give him the talk to, like, settle him down. That was cute in and of itself. But when he went back into the room and he noticed it wasn't Mike, he was like, this is good. He just walked away. I was just like, and he just put his feet up. He was like, I don't have any worries or problems. And I think it's important for the characters to maintain their humanity, because as they deal with perilous situations or life-threatening things or things that shouldn't happen, you care, because there's layers and there's levels of commitment that we have to these characters. But no, I agree with you in your sentiments about Elle and Max. It was a great pairing, and it also kind of pulled a lot of other things apart at the same time, which was important.
So I also loved the visual aid and what felt like full circle development of Joyce and Hopper's friendship, or whatever type of relationship is budding there. There is genuine care and concern and just so much openness. They can absolutely be themselves around each other, no matter what self they're showing that day. Like, Hopper can be his absolutely macho man wannabe self, and Joyce can be her wound a little too tightly bottle top about to pop self, and they both go kind of hand in hand in that regard. Like, she sees him getting a little too and she's like, let's take a breather. But also seeing him do that makes her calm down. She becomes the parent of the whole group, basically, like the head of the operation, the one who spearheads how things are going, whether it be because of her concerns or her moves or her tenacity. Like, her intuition speaks for itself, though. Whenever something is going wrong, she just knows. And it's probably hypervigilance from having almost seen her son die on more than one occasion.
I was about to say, it's been like, a couple times.
These guys, at the end of the day, they're all kind of vigilante superheroes in their own right. Like, they should be dead.
Yeah.
Yes, 11 is a big part as to why they still exist. But when she's unable to move, they get to it. Like, they use physics, they use thought. Without the radio that Dustin had created for Susie, which their relationship is cute too.
Oh, that was so cute.
They both kind of match each other in their, like, overzealous nature of wanting to be together. Like, Dustin is so for Susie. Absolutely adorable. It was pretty easy to tell that him not being able to contact her was going to be explained pretty early on, like why that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Dusty Bun. At first, I was like, does she exist? And I was like, you know what? There's no reason for Dustin to lie. But at the same time, I was like, I'm curious. And then they, hit it off with the Never Ending Story. I didn't realize until later on that Galen, who plays the role of Dustin, like he actually is been in Broadway before. Like both of them actually are legit musical theater kids, and so it's just a great little moment for them to have that epic moment. But yeah, I was happy for Dustin having a win out there.
Not even just a win. They match each other. She's as smart, if not smarter than he is.
It's true.
Like, she pulls him back in. And the fact that Erica, I knew she wasn't going to be a bit player. I just didn't know quite yet where she was going to fit. But her being a little math whiz, I love it. I like it. It's like continued growth of their group. Like this could technically go for another 4 seasons just with, new characters.
Yeah, Erica is a little Harriet the Spy who is sassy. Like she's gonna do what she wants. She's gonna extort who she needs to get what she wants. But she also very much so does like these guys. Like she likes them, even though she doesn't want to admit it. And I think she gets a thrill out of doing these things as well. So yeah, she's been there since the beginning, but seeing her in this capacity has actually been really dope, giving her more stuff to do.
I like it. I like that she's getting such a large part in this. Like she is an important character now, which was great because when I first saw her, I was like, she's absolutely going to be important. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on to Robin. Oh my goodness.
Man,
Fan geek genius. Like she could have been a code breaker for real. Didn't know Russian, picked up a few words here and there, figured out the code, and then figured out the phonetics of where they were based within their space by staring at a delivery guy. Like that was just chef's kiss, because
yeah.
Sometimes that's really what it takes, like thinking severely outside the box.
I think it's just so interesting how they moved her into the story. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve is working at the mall to make some money. He's working in an ice cream shop. He's also having like an early midlife crisis because he's no longer in high school. He's no longer the pretty boy that everybody fawns over. So these young girls going in, he's like, yeah. And they're just like, yeah, he's stupid. And Robin's like, who is this dork? And it's
Don't forget the you suck board.
True. And then, when Dustin comes and she watches like Steve not be like such a random weird douchebag to this kid, like he's just goofing around. I think it threw her off, but it develops into a really dope friendship. Like all of them through the proxy of trying to figure this code out and figure out what's going on with the Russian situation leads them into a very interesting, dangerous, and yet again, through trauma bonding, epic little friendship. And they have great chemistry. I initially watching it, I really didn't know. I was like, I think you had said like, yeah, you watch Steve and her are going to get together. But I didn't want to say anything because at first time watching, I really didn't know where it was going to go. But I think that
I said, you watch, it's going to go one of two ways. They're going to get together and be the best couple, or they're going to be the most amazing friends you've ever seen.
True. You did say that. That's true. I'll give you that. Well, there's a bathroom scene that happens. it may be one of the best line deliveries and great surprises of the season, where Robin feels comfortable enough with Steve to tell her the truth, and at the same time he kind of lets her know how he feels too, but he relents to her to be there in her moment, and that I think that cemented their friendship forever. You know what I'm saying? It was a really important scene, and it was also a really touching one at the same time.
I think in this show, one of the continuous factions that you're going to see is these guys are all ride or dies for each other. It doesn't matter how many fights they have. It doesn't matter how weird their fallouts are. It doesn't matter what their distance is. Once they're back together, that's it. Like, the glue's just added again.
It's true. They really all are ride or dies. Speaking of ride or dies, I was going to ask your opinion on a certain poor soul, Dr. Alexi, Mr. Slurps. He's the sweet man that was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Joyce and Hopper are just trying to protect this man and be there for him. And he's trying to help them as best he can. But what did you think about the Russians and his storyline, and then also how that all played out, especially towards a very unfortunate end at the end of the season for Hopper?
Oh, I can't metabolize the part about Hopper again. I need a moment for that. But going into Alexi, my take is a little different. He was going to die regardless.
Dang, that's cold-blooded.
Listen. Wannabe Arnold Schwarzenegger was walking around being all towards dunts.
He was a Terminator. He absolutely was.
Also, the vest, really? The bulletproof vest? What a bitch-made move. Hopper wasn't wearing a vest.
He was not. He absolutely was not. But Hopper is a G, though.
Exactly. Unlike him. No. See? Told you. Wannabe. Look at that face.
I had to do it. There's another shot. I thought it was hilarious. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Even while he's making the stupid face, he's still somehow more attractive than... Let's just call him Thud. Because every time he walked, it was a thud. Wow. Irritating.
Anywho.
I'm glad he's dead.
Well, it's like the show always does. Everything goes full circle. So, Robin and Steve were uncovering a mystery in the mall, trying to figure out what was going on. They realized it's Russians. That goes back full circle to what Hop and Joyce were doing, which they were trying to just track down what the hell's going on. And they meet with the mayor of the city, who is from Princess Diaries, as well as Saul and a couple other things. And he's the man, but he's a douchebag in this show.
Slimy. Could feel it on my fingertips when I watched him talk.
I love how Hop set him up. It was beautiful. I love Hopper in general.
I do too. Oh, for so many reasons. But getting back to what I was saying about Alexi, rest his soul. There was no way at all that you could look at that man and believe that he was going to make it into a next season of Stranger Things. He was going to die. Thud was on his tail. And this man, he's got no weapons training. He's not a KGB or CIA. He's a scientist who just wants to live a life where he's not constantly threatened with death. And Slurpees. He really seems to enjoy Slurpees.
That man is Slurps. That's his name. He is
Like,
Slurps. Let's see. There is
Murray is, you know, kind of the reason why he died so much earlier than he would have. But also at the same time, he got to have a little bit of fun before his inevitable end.
Yeah, he did. He got a whole carnival moment.
Mm-hmm.
He
He
got
got
to
a
be
carnival
free.
moment. He got a friend. He got to watch some of our brain rot. He got Slurpees. He got to taste our terrible fast food.
This is all true.
He got the American dream all wrapped up for as little as he was allowed to. But I think he was able to pass on a bit more peacefully with that.
I agree. He didn't have any regrets going out at all. And I mean, technically, I mean, he probably went out better than anybody else in the past few seasons. Like Bob went out terribly. Like he died suffering. Barb, we don't know how long it took for her to got. But at least he kind of got out on a decent note. But there is somebody that did have a terrible end. That I mean, as much as this scene was rough, there's another scene that precedes this that's even crazier because beginning of the season, we have Billy trying to hit on Mrs. Wheeler because he's the lifeguard. Miss Wheeler's got a douchebag husband, and she lectured the idea of possibly messing with this young man. And unfortunately for Billy, he gets caught up, and not in the way you would think. he gets dragged into
down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom.
He gets dragged into a hot mess that no one anticipated happening. So the mind flare that was inside of Will had made itself manifest physically on our plane and started evolving into something physical. And everything it touched, it started to pull in and grasp in. Now, there's another story thread that kind of followed this through, which was Nancy and Jonathan. Nancy is working as a journalist, and Jonathan is working as, she was trying to be a journalist. I think Jonathan is a camera person. And
she was the coffee gopher. He was the photo developer.
Yep. And she saw that there could be a story going on because she was noticing there was a lot of weird things going on and also rodents. And they ended up following to this this older lady's house. And the old lady was like, yeah, something's going on with my pets down there. And I don't know what's going on. And I ain't gonna lie, from a horror standpoint, what went down with that old lady, while at the same time, the different things that were happening with the mind flayer or these creatures was crazy, because I didn't know what was going to happen from the first episode with Billy getting pulled down and then Billy essentially almost like Will being possessed, but then other people started to slowly get changed and converted as well. So from a horror standpoint and from a body horror standpoint, they go in routes that I didn't anticipate. And a lot of people died this season. A lot more people than people care to talk about. But what was your take on that and how they handled that?
I felt like it was a good progression. And I felt like the mind flare did the right thing by trapping Billy in the upside down and giving him a vision of himself being a leader of this horde of people from Hawkins, because let's be honest, a natural response in animals is to flee when they sense danger. But if you're staring at yourself in the mirror, you're not going to run away.
Right.
So the Mind Flayer, I don't think it was ever stupid, but very, very calculating, turning itself into a vision of Billy while talking to Billy, made it so Billy would be taken off guard enough that he could be infested.
Right.
So, you know, points to them. I don't know what they would consider themselves.
Yeah. Keep my mouth shut on that. But as much as you hate Billy, I do think that Daiquiri did some acting this season. I think that he put himself in some very precarious situations.
The acting was phenomenal. I can't say anything outside of that.
Because you still hate him.
Oh, I do. No, that hasn't changed at all. And spoiler alert, it's not going to change.
I mean, he's gone. He sacrificed himself for, well, he did finally sacrifice himself for something
that he caused.
He did. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question. Much like Will was possessed last season, this possession was a lot more calculating and aggressive, because there were times where I didn't know if it was Billy or what was in Billy. And I'll give you the biggest example of when they were at the house, when Max and 11 went to try to find the girl at the house, and they were scared because they were like, oh man, I don't know what happened to her. And Billy opens the door, and the whole family is just kind of like, oh yeah, Billy's great. And then the girl shows up, and Billy looks at Elle. It's like, and I didn't catch your name. And then he kind of says, Elle. To me, it was kind of like, I don't know what's going on there. It just threw me off. And so there were times I was watching this, I was like, I don't know what's actually happening. And there are times also where, even in the boiler room, like I showed the picture of, that I felt like there were moments where Billy was kind of peeking out, but then he would just revert right back. And he's got some supernatural abilities and capabilities, because Elle was putting a lot of work with him, but it just did not matter. His body was built different. And it's not just his physical prowess, it's what was ever in him.
Well, to me, it was because Billy was the main host. And the main host has to be given at least a little bit more. Like, okay, we'll use the contents of Ivan, for example. If Ivan gave away every single one of his eyeballs, he would still be left with one. So, even though the Mind Flayer was breaking off pieces of itself to toss into the other hosts, and Billy was helping with this, Billy still had more than everyone else.
It's true. It's true. That's absolutely a fact, because even like it was, you said it perfectly. It was almost like it was systematically done. Like, this is all planned and set up in a very particular way, because I think because what happened in the second season, the Mind Flayer was like, yeah, nah, not like this. Not the same. We're doing this differently. But I think what the Mind Flayer, didn't anticipate is Billy sacrificing himself to give them the moment that they needed. And I think that was the only miscalculation that was made on the end of this. But yeah, again, I say that Zachary did a great job acting, and it's unfortunate we're not going to see his character anymore. Unfortunate for you, but unfortunate for me.
Okay, I will give him, his win for that moment of humanity, but the moment could have also been had at more crucial points, like letting them leave.
It's true. It's absolutely true. I think it's just interesting that even with that, and I think it's a credit to the Duffer Brothers storytelling. 11 found out about his yearning for his mother and his yearning for something different as a means to connect him with something, because she also understands that. There was some really awesome things with 11 and how they used her powers on the back end, her dreamscape, her ability to be able to track, and just honestly, this season her power is elevated in ways, because they had some really awesome fight sequences.
That was amazing. Like every single fight sequence, everybody was in it. It wasn't just 11. Like everybody was out there doing their best with what they had, which was great. Like, yes, 11 is amazing as a fighter. She has telekinetic and telepathic abilities at this point. She could probably do what her sister does now.
It's true.
But the thing of that is, it's still all up here. So when 11 got smacked, I'm pretty sure the thing that makes her special got locked up. So
yeah.
So when we see her trying to smash the Coke can and it not, working the way that it's supposed to, that kind of solidified it for me.
Yeah.
It's like you flip a light switch, it burns out, and you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I just put that bulb in. So you flick it again because it obviously should work. But I'm pretty sure we'll see her get her powers back, because obviously she's going to get her powers back. I'm not quite sure how she will. I'm not sure what type of traumatic stress she's going to have to face in order to switch that, just back on, but she'll get there. But going back to 11, I love the development of her openness towards Hopper with her feelings. Like, she actively, without a question, views this man as her father. And it is so just unanimous, like, that they feel the same way towards each other. That's my kid. That's my dad. So, skipping forward to, it almost felt like, it almost felt like it was known that something traumatic was going to be happening, and it happened on both ends. Elle lost what makes her who she is and the person who accepts her in all of her ways. And it was really tragic. I actually shed a lot of tears for Hopper. The minute that I saw, like, he wasn't moving, I was like, oh no, this is going to be very emotionally painful. I should absolutely look away. And obviously I couldn't, because I saw him give the nod and I saw Joyce tear up and in tandem flip those keys. She did what she had to do, just like Hopper did what he had to do. At the end of the day, everybody in that group, even the kids, go in knowing they might die.
Yeah.
They put on as close to a literal cape as possible for a town that has no idea what's going on.
Right.
And there's a lot of permanent bonds made with something like that. So I feel like season 3, it did beautifully. Like, there was tragedy, there was romance, there was, anger, there was action, there was confusion, there was a love triangle in Hopper's mind.
Oh man.
He's not happy with Joyce over going over to see Mr. Clark.
She was like, what the freak is this? What are you doing with this man?
It's just like, I needed to know what's going on with my fridge magnets, Hopper.
He forgot that his friend is very eccentric. It's not always what you think it is. But that's the beauty of their friendship relationship. And I think that's what makes it even more tragic, the way that it ended. And honestly, it's a loss for the whole entire team, because as much as Max and 11 were together, the beginning of the season, they both lost significantly. Like, as much as Max didn't care for her brother, she did love him, and she lost him. And the whole entire team was kind of crippled, because they don't know where is up or left or down after that, because Joyce makes a decision at the end of the season as well, to leave Hawkins, which honestly, in hindsight, she should have went to every single one of those parents and said, look, guys, y'all need to get the hell up out of here, because this, and this. And I got proof. I got receipts. But instead, Joyce was like, look, I'm going to get out with my 2 kids and I'm out. But that was hard. That was hard. That was a hard blow. Even for Mike, because he lost something too. So yeah. Everybody, I don't know. I'm trying to think of who had a good ending. It might have been Dustin, kind of, but everybody else, it was a L. No pun intended.
I mean, Dusty Buns got his Susie, and she is crazy about him. Honestly, Steve got a best friend.
He did. Yeah.
And Robin does love him, not the way he'd want her to, but she does love him.
She does. She's good for him. She's like, her, Dustin, and Steve are good for each other. They're like Robin and Steve are kind of like the parents for Erica and for Dustin. That's the best way I kind of put it. They worked really good together, even though it was very freaking dangerous, them getting in a fight with Russians. That was not a good idea. They should have got shot, but it's fine. still a fantastical series.
I will say I did like the comedy and the Russians kind of losing their shit over the fact that, yeah, Scoops Ahoy is who they work for. This has nothing to do with anyone they're working for. This has to do with the fact that they don't want to have to deal with another situation of the Upside Down.
Right.
Like, that's it. They just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. And this, I think it's even more crazier that the Russians were trying to make their way and bridge a gap into the Upside Down without understanding the reality of the situation. But yeah, that pretty much outlines the whole entire season, honestly. Did you have anything that we forgot?
Yes.
Okay.
So, the dad's still a horrible dick.
Yeah, he is.
But he makes a really good bed. So, good on him. Like, the little girl was sleeping. That was sweet. And it also helped her mom not do the thing that she probably shouldn't have even considered.
Yeah, it's kind of like I would have actually rather her, of course, not get with this young man, but have like this moment of like, maybe, Joyce is leaving, right? Maybe I should get out of here with my kids. Maybe this is a sign. Because.
But remember it being like, what was it, 1984?
Oh, yeah, the 80s. Yeah, no, nobody's leaving. Everybody's
no.
right
If he
in,
tried
no
to
matter
snatch her kids up, she would have had to steal them.
Yep. But she could have in this series. Like, it might be the best thing for these kids.
I mean,
if she knew what was going on, she doesn't know what's going on. I think if she did know what happened to Billy and what's happened to these kids, I think she might have, because he wouldn't leave. He wouldn't believe it. He would never believe.
He doesn't listen to anything. Listen, he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't believe in anything. He goes to his salary job and he comes back and he makes mopey, irritating sounds with his mouth and and his dull facial expressions.
Yeah.
And his complete lack of understanding that his son does, in fact, have a girlfriend. My son with a girl?
I can't. Is 11 technically exists now? Like, they have, like, yeah, she's going to the school, stuff like that. Yeah, so wait, is she going to the school? I don't even remember anymore.
No, she doesn't go to school yet.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. Anyway, before I go too far, what are your closing thoughts and A to F rating on the season?
Okay, I will be nice and I will say, good job, Billy. You did the right thing. I mean, you had that moment of clarity. You realized you didn't want to be a douchebag, so well done. Let's see now. My first rating was
C+.
Yes, a C+. My second was a B-. My
That's
next
correct.
was, I can't call it an A yet, so we're going to call this a B+.
That's fair.
We're going to call this a B+ because the story is still building and I want to save that higher scale for what's to come.
Yeah.
If I had any negative space, let's see. No, I don't think that I have anything that isn't a personal grievance. This season was done very, very well, very, very, well packaged and very, very well delivered.
Yeah, it's story is magnifying, the tone is shifting, but we still care about the characters and what happens to them, which is hard. Um, Especially because it is getting very dark. A lot of people did die. I mean, we kind of glossed over it, but a lot of townspeople ended up getting
39.
dang. You got the number? You're a G. I didn't even know that.
39, and they glossed it over as a mall fire. No one questioned why people were in the mall after hours. Just 39.
That's crazy. That's crazy to even think about.
It is, but when you start to think about things like that and you unravel more and more, it makes people uncomfortable, which is why they're fine with hearing the number 39 and hearing mall fire.
That's true. That's true. Because even I can't remember how they covered up Bob's death. What did they say was Bob's death? They talked about it in the beginning of this.
They called it mysterious, and I'm pretty sure they tried to tie it into the dangerous chemical leak.
That's wild, bro.
What else? Oh wait, I think I found something that could have been a grievance. The military has been to Hawkins twice now. This is going to be their third time. And they haven't decided to take over the Hawkins lab and develop a secret American military base to combat where this insanity is spewing from? The pew-pews are stupid, but I didn't realize they were that stupid.
I'm gonna cut my shut up. But anywho, that's a great thought. So yes, we just completely unpacked season 3 and our recap and review. This was dope. Siren, where can everybody find your content?
Yes. Okay, so if you like my voice and like the way that I say things, I actually do horror narration on TikTok. You can find me and my name right there, the Siren of Thorns, and pretty much everywhere else under the same name, moniker, or what have you. I have a lot of different spaces that I float in, so if you can't find me in one, you can definitely find me in another. And the very last thing I want to say is about Hopper's letter.
Oh,
That it was a beautiful tribute and tie-in to how Hopper actively is on the inside. He might not be able to illustrate it in full, but he cares deeply about everyone who matters to him. And through and through, he is her father. That is his kid.
oh, that is a beautiful sentiment. Not gonna get emotional tonight. But you guys, we're coming dangerously close to season 4, and then inevitably we'll be going through spoiler and recap discussions on. We'll do volume 1 of season 5. So just stay tuned. We'll be back for season 4, and until then, we'll talk to you guys a little bit later on. Hold on, this is gonna be a bumpy ride, but it's gonna be worth it. I think we've had fun. We've had a great time with this. So
say goodbye, Ivan.
Oh snap! Come on, why? Why do you do this? Why do you do this to me?
Falling out the top of the
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord.